All right, so in honor of the upcoming inauguration, I know, I have an angry political poem. And so it mentions a lot of shit, so I'm just going to say, like, trigger warning, Trump, because I think that covers everything. And so I'd also like to add disclaimer to anyone who might be in the group that is the target audience of this. I don't hate all of you. I have some middle-aged friends. Generational divide, or dear baby boomer, love whiny millennial. I am a millennial, born unexpectedly premature the day before Bill Clinton was elected president, and my mom, the Bush supporter, never forgave me for interfering with her ability to vote that year. We get along all right most of the time, despite the generational divide, as long as we don't talk about politics or watch the news together. I try to understand why she doesn't see things the way I do, and I think it's because I'm from the social justice corner of the internet, and she's from a very white suburb of Detroit in the 50s. Like many baby boomers, she thinks millennials are too sensitive, too whiny, easily offended by every little thing. It's sort of hard to take that seriously when it's coming from the generation of moms who popularized the "may I speak to the manager" haircut. Lest we forget, Mom, yours was the same generation who was offended by interracial marriage, single mothers, and being told not to beat their children. You think we're entitled because of all the participation trophies you gave us just for showing up, willfully forgetting that back in your day, anyone who wanted to go out and get a job could. Well, any white person anyway. The good old days were really never that great for some people. We are children of the recession that you started. Twice. We're the most educated and lowest paid generation in American history. Forgive us for being upset that we can't get a job in the economy you crashed.
Thank you.
You say we spend too much time on our phones. We are the first generation to carry in our pockets access to all of the information humankind has ever known. We use social media to connect to people all over the world in a way that your black and white TVs never allowed. Maybe I'm scrolling through a blog listening to the voices of the oppressed. Maybe I'm reading an article about something Fox News never reported. Maybe I'm organizing to fight for something I believe in. Or, yeah, maybe I'm sending selfies in Snapchat and taking a BuzzFeed quiz. What's it to you? Meanwhile, you use social media to share your cupcake recipes, complain about kids these days, and get scientifically inaccurate medical advice from a man whose middle name is a fruit. You say we're too politically correct, as if caring about fellow human beings is somehow an insult. I'm trying so hard to figure out why you don't understand our fight or our causes. Maybe it's because it looks different now. You might not recognize it because it has a different face than what yours did, but it matters. Racism didn't end with slavery being abolished, people of color voting, or Obama getting elected president. For better or worse, we know that no fight is ever over because of one elected official. Just as misogyny wasn't dead with your mother's suffragette movement or Title IX or your first-wave feminism, I'm sorry, Mom, you didn't save the world with your rock music and your Vietnam protests. You say we were sore losers for protesting the election because you couldn't see what we could possibly be complaining about. You said Trump's not oppressive, we're just spoiled. In 1955, in Brown versus Board of Education, Chief Supreme Court Justice Earl Warren said that segregation of schools has a detrimental effect upon the segregated kids, and that the impact is greater when it has the sanction of the law, for the policy of separating a group is denoted as the inferiority of said group. I shouldn't have to be the one to explain this to you. You're so old, you were there the first time. Maybe we have a better first-hand understanding than you do of how when any minority is seen as other, it creates an environment in which oppression is easy and hate crimes are inevitable. We're not the PC police, you're just offended that we're sick of the abuse. For example, all one British politician had to do was blame a country's problems on immigrants to spark a massive increase in attacks on them the day Brexit was passed. All Trump had to do was suggest that Mexican immigrants are criminals and talk about how many he'd like to deport, to see children crying and because their families could be torn apart, and you tell us to shut up and take it. All Trump had to do was propose a ban on Muslims entering the country, to suggest monitoring mosques and creating a registry for women to have their hijabs torn off and have death threats yelled at them while grocery shopping, and you tell us to shut up and take it. All Trump had to do was get away with sexual assault, to normalize rape culture, to muffle the voices of women everywhere who already don't report attacks very often for fear they won't be believed. Shut up and take it. All Trump had to do was appoint a vice president who doesn't support gay marriage, who believes in electrocuting the gay away for the Trevor Project to receive the highest number of calls from suicidal teens they have ever had the day after the election. Shut up and take it.
Yeah.
You didn't have to be the one to pull the trigger when your casual hate speech and your ignoring of the problem is as good as handing over a loaded gun. It was as obvious to Justice Earl Warren in 1955 as it is to me today. You voted for Trump. So every single time a clinic is closed and a woman dies from complications of trying to self-abort, every single time a black boy is shot in the middle of the street with his hands up, and every single time a gay teen kills themselves because society rejected them, the blood is on your hands. Mom, how many dead kids is it going to take for you to start giving a shit about how your voice and your votes contribute to the body count? Maybe some of that blood is on my hands too. I let it slide for far too long. I made excuses for you. I never called you out on your sentences that started with, "I'm not racist, but." Even when your closeted homophobia was pointed straight at me, I sat quietly and politely like you taught me to. I let you insist you don't hate gay people, you just don't like their marriages. I let you say, "I'm not homophobic, I've had some great gay friends." Well, that's really very nice of you. Thank you for participating. Would you like a fucking trophy? I made excuses for you, like maybe you voted for him for political reasons, like maybe you think he'll help the economy. Well, there is no excuse, but that one is the worst because you just admitted your money is more important to you than a country of dead men, women, and children. You seem so disappointed to have raised a liberal like me, so upset at me and my whole generation for caring about the issues we do, but it's important to me, even if that means disagreeing with you, Mom. We listen to what people have to say, Mom. We don't put down other people and we stick up to the bully who does, Mom. We know better than to make fun of people who are different from us, Mom. We share well with others, Mom. We let the new kids sit with us, Mom, like you taught us to. The next generation of kids will be better at this than we are. If the new season of Degrassi is any indication, they're growing up learning about privilege, discrimination, casual racism, feminism, gay rights, religious freedom, tolerance, intersectionality in every single episode. And I don't want to hear a single fucking one of you whiny baby boomers piss and moan about how those kids aren't going to grow up to be as blind to bigotry as you are. And my hope is that my millennial generation doesn't grow up to treat them the way that you've treated us. Because one day, we'll be the out-of-touch old people writing all the bills, and they'll be the ones protesting things we may not have even noticed. May we never tell them to shut up. Even if we don't like their music, or understand their fashions, or their hairstyles, or if we struggle to keep up with their slang terms, may we tell them that we never stopped listening. May we tell them, "I see you. I believe you. You are real. And it's your turn for the microphone. So go ahead. Take it."